What's happening, guys? Welcome back to episode 5. Picking up from where we left off at the dilapidated bridge. So now that you have made friends with the friendly giant, we are going to be good to progress this zone. So this is the home stretch of the undead settlement at this point. Come on, buddy. He just does not stop for, a bigger gentleman. He does not stop. He does not slow down. Alright, so once we got him, we're on a straight path. Now, that you have made friends with Mr. Giant, he's going to be throwing javelins at everyone besides you, which does make this area much easier. You can probably just sit back with your shield and just, let him do work, right? Let him deal with it for you. But there are still quite a few guys here. If they gang up on you, they gang up on you. Just makes things easier. You know what I mean? Best friend you can ever fucking have. Love the guy. Love the guy. I don't love him before you meet him, though. I'll tell you what, he's really annoying in that sense. But once you do, it's good to go. Alright, so once we got all of them cleared, you got your items around the tree, what you want to do is just run to the right and jump. Get your first undead bone shard, which is going to increase the amount of healing you get per sip from your flask. So this is pretty big. Oh, that was just awesome. Yeah, that jump, it gets me sometimes, I ain't gonna lie. Then there are trophies related to your healing too. So you need to fully upgrade your bonfire and then fully upgrade, maxing out your class. So the undead bone shards are awesome, but they also, it's important to mention they are trophy related, right? So as you go through the game, you need to fully upgrade your bonfire. But once you get like a few of those, just one flask is going to heal a huge portion of your health, which is really nice. Let's go back for our souls. That's the one thing about him. It does kind of blind you a bit from all the, like the dirt getting kicked up from his javelin. Thank you. Alright, now we're just pretty much making sure we have all of our drops. Before you go forward into that house, what we want to do is go over here to the left-hand side. Then when you go back, just hold up your shield, excuse me. He kind of does a drop-in attack when he lands. Drop that damn sword, buddy. I'll get it eventually. Starting set for faith builds. Then right over here is going to be your first ash. Excuse me, guys. I don't know what. I'm falling apart over here. I'm getting old, I guess. But once we turn in those ashes, then we'll be able to unlock your last optional path within the undead settlement. So we're going to grab that. Right on him. There's a red eye in here too, but he's just not that bad. Unless he starts getting on you. Alright, you're going to go up. Make sure you turn around. Run, jump. And get you scythe. Great scythe. It's pretty dope for dex builds because it does have blood loss on it. So it can be quite nice. Every few hits get, the huge proc of damage. Gotta love it. Alright, so moving forward, we're going to go ahead and grab your shortcut. So if you die, go to the under the bridge shrine, under the cliff shrine. Then this is your boss. So this boss is a gimmick. It's really not that difficult, but it can be a pain in the ass. And the reason for this... I have 11, we'll get and pop one. The reason for this is you're surrounded by enemies. Now, the boss is a big tree. The only way you can cause damage is bursting his little bubbles. Burst his bubble. There's going to be like these pustules on him, and that's what's going to cause damage to him. So he can spit out acid, does damage over time. Not too crazy, but it does do damage over time. He has a lot of stomps with his feet, swipes with his hands. And you just gotta find those weak points and target them. And that can be easier said than done at times. There are obvious ones, such as his belly, but there's others too. And that's what makes it quite irritating. It's all these guys. So, busted the first one. He's got one on his hand too. Red dodge through. There's also some on his back. We're gonna save this for face. Now, as soon as you do enough damage to this gentleman, that will get. What's going to happen is he's going to stomp the ground like so. He's going to break. Now all the little guys are no longer a problem. They will all die from that drop. You will not take any, any real damage. So basically, I like to start by getting behind him. Well, go for that hand if you ain't busted that yet. But he's going to grow another hand out of his chest. That could be a real problem if you're not careful. Go with that. Start his back. You can spin around at you. It's okay, well, he'll do it. I should have came here and more heals, but we'll beat this one. Go. Now, if you run out of stuff to pop, you're going to have to actually damage this hand. Do not let it grab you. You're going to run out of stuff to pop eventually. The hand can be a threat, but it's also technically a weak point too. Yeah, that's okay. We're going to try to heal to it. Big damage for sure. Now he's almost dead. We just need to attack that hand. And there you go. That's just the gimmick. Now, the hardest thing about fights in this game is really the positioning, right? You're trying to get positioned to damage these bosses. Now, if you did not join your covenant down here when we went here earlier, you are going to miss out on that. It's your Mound Maker's Covenant. That's why we did it when we did it. Now we have all this done, we're going to jump back to Firelink as you have finally unlocked the ability to turn in boss remembrances. I don't want any of the boss remembrance items right now, so I'm not worried about them. I'm going to discuss them and let you guys know what's happening, but I'm not worried about spending my souls. So if you go on up here, you got the transposing kiln. This is the quest item you're going to need. Going over here, hand to Ludlip. We haven't even talked to yet because there wasn't any real, point of doing so. So we do want to give him the transposing kiln. It serves no other purpose. Believe it or not, that boss is considered an optional boss. But could you imagine not taking him out? You would never have boss weapons. Isn't that wild? So this comes later. Usually they only show up when you take out the boss. But Soul of a Demon, your Demon's Great Axe, and your Demon's Fist, for whatever reason, show up here. From an optional boss later, can't do nothing with it now. So to go in order, when you took out Vort, you could either get this Great Hammer or this Ring. Ring gives health back for quick attacks, such as like a dex build. Our weapon will work for it. So as we land enough blows in quick succession, we get health back every now and then. And then you also have the Great Hammer. Really good, but it's not going to come to play until a much later build because 30 strength requirement. Two-handing, I think it's like 20, 25. But then you still got the vitality and then enough stamina to actually build it around. So it is decent, but I feel like by that point there are other choices. It does have 110 frostbite, which is nice, but just better choices. And then with the Soul of the Greatwood, you either have Hollow Slayer Greatsword, just a pure and just know none of boss weapons can be buffed or infused. None of them, right? So if they don't do elemental or they don't have any cool buffs, you're locked in with whatever it does. So it's just a pure physical greatsword. It's not special. It does do increased damage against hollows. There are certain bosses that are considered to be hollow, but that's it. And then if you like a spear, this one does poison. The early choices are not going to be crazy. You guys got to expect that. So going on down, Undead Bone Shard. So now our flask will heal a bigger portion of that health, which is going to be nice. Then we can go on, and I do believe that there is one upgrade we did not turn in from last episode. Yeah, so let's go and get that caught up, and we're going to go there. Now, before we go on any further, we need to go to her, turn in your ashes. As I mentioned previously, this is where you turn in all your ashes. It's going to expand her shop. Then she's going to have the grave key. We are going to need to pick this up for our last area. Also, it does give her other stuff from time to time. Shields, armor sets, a lot of stuff later. But for right now, you do get a couple consumables and stuff. So, alright. So now we're going to go back to Dilapidated Bridge. So from the dilapidated bridge, we did show this a while back. When we are going to have to take care of these gentlemen again. Don't stunlock me. For the love of Bob. And then this gate right here can now be opened. Now, if you're not going for the hidden trophy ending and you don't want to be hollow anymore, you just want the 5 free levels, you can go over this way, get your loincloth, and then you could request dissolution, which is going to make you back with a human appearance, and absolution is if you pissed off any NPCs and you want to continue with their quest line as long as you have not killed them. That's going to allow you to actually progress with the quest. So pick up a halberd, and you start finding a bunch of undead guys. Later in the game, they'll like come back to life after you kill them. Just once, not to worry, that can be kind of frightening, but early on, they don't do none of that shit. And you can get some weapons to drop from them. It's not guaranteed, like it is a lot of times, but you can. So as we progress here, we're going to turn around immediately. He's trying to be sneaky boy. Thank you. Then we can head on out. So sometimes the enemies from the top can come down. In fact, that was a strategy I said you guys could use earlier. Like you're really struggling, worried about them, sometimes you could line them up so they fall down. But you also got to remember they can do that to themselves too. And the fall itself does not kill them. Alright, so there's going to be a crystal lizard who loves to time out on you. Titanite. The big guy should be falling on your head right now. Back up. Just stay on him. Hopefully you put him down before he really gets started. That's why I recommended this weapon. Like I said, a lot of so-called Souls vets talk all that shit about the weapon, but at the end of the day, it's just really good, man. It just puts guys down. Doesn't matter where in the game you are either. I almost forgot. So from here, we need to go back to our handy-dandy bow. What the hell? Oh, wrong button. Thank you. Go and pick that up. So, blessed red and white shield +1. It's actually not bad either. Really rare shield. You're not really going to find this much places. So, it actually gets scaling if you want to hit an enemy with it. But it's just a small shield. You're really vulnerable to physical. It just gives you extra protection to certain elemental, elemental stats. Now from here, once you roll on down, these rats are going to seem like they're just not going to stop coming. It might be best just put yourself right in front of the tunnel. They're going to come out the other tunnel too, but the tunnel on the right is going to be where all the action is for the most part. Get your seal, which is St. Talisman. Now we're going to go on up and meet another NPC and send her back to the Firelink Shrine. So this is Arena. So Arena's going to sell you incantations. Her quest is pretty picky about how you have to do things to not mess it up. And we'll cover this in great detail later on. Pretty much she's like corrupted. She's almost like a medium. So whatever energy she's around, she really feels it. So for her to teach you spells, she needs to learn them herself. And whatever type of spells she learns will affect her. So light spells will affect her in a positive way. Dark spells will corrupt her. And this really comes to play later for her quest. So for right now, she's going to tell you to touch her. Little creatures are nibbling at her. So she's really just, she's got issues, you could say. But let her feel your touch. Then she is going to give you a gesture and going back to Firelink so we can start getting incantations, miracles rather, from her. So the guy you talked to earlier, who was Egon, looks over her, so he's going to kind of go on about her, being a handful, but if we end up fucking her over anyway, he's going to deal with us.
I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safe and
only that long. And he's going to say it again and give you a little bit more dialogue. Alright, there we go. So with that, we are completely wrapped up with everything here at the Undead Settlement, and we are ready to move forward. Just going up or down? Up. So roll off. Like I said, we were so close last episode to having this wrapped up. We're only here at 15 minutes, so what we're going to do is push through the next section. It's a transitional zone leading to your next area. So it doesn't take long to wrap up. Still may be a pretty short episode all in all, but we are going to be set up real nice moving forward. Not to worry, I'll make sure, anytime we do a short episode, I know people are really trying to get through the game, I'll post a few that day, I'll make sure maybe put an extra one out so you guys can keep making progress. Alright, going on into your next area. Like I said, this is a very small area, it's just a transitional zone, it's like an in-between area, if you will. Now, these guys aren't bad unless you let them transform. If you do, they can get very hectic for you very quickly, so put them down as fast as possible. We should be able to get a drop here. Shriving Stone. This is what you're going to use to bring a weapon back down to base, meaning, like if you infuse it with fire and you want to go back to physical so you get your scaling back, you use that. Over here on the left really is nothing. There's one enemy just kind of off on his own. But, just so our areas are cleared, we'll put him down. We're going to go to the right of the cart for your soul. As we've already picked it up, we have not. Stay on him. This guy's a mage version. He'll use poison and fire, but his health is the same. He's a little bigger, but not much of a threat. Alright, now we're going to follow this around to the left. When I say left, I mean keep wrapping around to the left. So there will be a scripted invasion event that gets you a really nice weapon. It takes 24 strength to wield. It's not bad. She seems a little hectic. Just be careful. Yep, she don't roll off. But with what our damage is, she shouldn't be that bad. Just look for your openings. Back up. There you go. If you're worried about her too, you can kind of cheese her and knock her off the cliff, but you will have to quit out and load back in to get the weapon. Brigade set, then your Brigade twin daggers are going to be down here. That weapon is nice. Unfortunately, we don't have the stats to use it. And by the time we do, it's just better choices. But it is really cool. Something you could carry to the end game. So as you go up, you're going to curve around to your left. And this is just going to allow us to do a quick loop around for an upgrade map or anything else. But worth our time. We should all have enough Titanites to bring one weapon to +3 at this point. That's as high as you can get it with the resources you have. If you have 12, we have 15. So one weapon and start on the next. But I'm still saving these up. Like I said, this sword will carry us for a long time. Let's really stack up resources. And then, when we actually have some real solid choices, we can go through and upgrade whatever the hell we want. Way up there, So that's the other reason I like it. It helps just buy you time, right? So before we even get through them, once you get to this bridge, if you just look right here to the right, you're going to notice you can drop. We're going to go and heal. And it's going to be these dogs. If you're using fire, it'll actually kind of stagger them, like stun lock them on the ground, which can be nice. They'll start rolling around and then finish them up very easily. Mourn's Ring, it's going to boost miracle damage, and then your first Divine Tome. So these are quest items that are turned into Arena later on, and it's going to give you your first spells for Faith builds instead of Intelligence. So Arena is kind of like how Yol was selling you guys spells for Mage, that's selling spells for Faith. Depending on your weapon, sometimes you can get a drop. Depends if you have enough reach or not. Oh, we're going to spaz way out. Grab an Ember. Then in addition to upgrades and shriving stones, stuff like that, you can get all these guys' weapons. And if you're really trying to get everything in the game, you should do that for every enemy type, because you're getting daggers, get a really dope scythe from these guys, and you could also get that staff that the mage version is casting with. So it's good to know. Alright, y'all. So this is going to be a wrap-up point. Like I said, this episode is going to be a little bit shorter. Not really. We're at 20 minutes. But before we wrap up, there's a few things to cover. So for one, over here is Horus and Henri. Interacting with Horus, you'll join another covenant, the Blue Sentinels. You get a trophy for that. Aside from that, Henri is tied in with Yoel's quest and Uria's quest, which we haven't met yet. This ties into the, hidden trophy ending, right? So for this, you're going to have to get in, well, you're going to have to marry Henri. So if you're a female character, Henri will be a boy. If you're a male character, Henri's a girl. But later in the game, and it is very obscure and hidden, but you will have to do a marriage ceremony. It's not what you think. It's very dark. It's Dark Souls. But it does tie into the hidden ending. So for now, just, get her dialogue. But you need to see this quest all the way through. Find all their spots, do all the steps, and there is a lot to it, But this is where it begins. So just make sure you get her dialogue here. In a little while, we'll have to also meet her other spots and get that dialogue when the time comes. Now, aside from this, before we close out, we need to do something very important that might not seem important to you guys. If you don't know, you don't know. For one, Siri is going to be here. Her quest doesn't come until mid-game. It's quite a while away, but make sure you get your dialogue. If you don't do these things when you first have access to them, you're probably going to fuck up quests. This game's very touchy with that kind of stuff. And then, also very important, we need to have 10 intelligence. Doesn't matter which build you are, has nothing to do with your build. There is a NPC that will not talk to you unless you have 10 in intelligence. His quest also ties with the hidden ending, and it's gonna, tie into a lot of trophies, as he's gonna say you like 25 spells you need towards your platinum. So this quest leads to most of the spells you're gonna get in the game for mage builds, and it has to be done. And then, he also ties into the hidden trophy ending. So you have to have 10 intelligence. Most builds are close to it. Keep in mind, if it bothers you that much, it's one level, but if it bothers you that much later on, you can respec and get it back. But for what we're doing next episode, we have got to have it. So with all that caught up, we are going to go ahead and wrap up here. Next episode, we'll be doing the Crucifixion Woods. Then, we'll keep pushing forward. So y'all stay tuned. Please subscribe for more walkthrough, and we will catch you back here next time.